Hey everybody, how are we doing? So, always some random day, I just kind of take a run through and look through on camera here of the Commander decks they come out with a lot of the products, right? I wasn't gonna buy these, and I'm not quite sure what did it. Something in me just kind of one day was like, you know what, get these. So I did, and of course it's kind of funny that the day that they come out is the day that the professor's like, these are not a buy, except for this one over here. Now, to be fair, this one over here is one of the reasons I went ahead and got them, because local shop sells them as a kit. Because they noticed a long time ago they kept getting stuck with like 2 of the 4 decks, right? So they started only at first they'll just sell them as the group. That's how they sell them, and it makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. So we're just gonna kind of do a run through here. One thing I will state, right, is value of the deck. I think there's some information out there. It's not 100% correct. So, for instance, like Brina, she already went down in price a lot. That card already halved when it got announced it was going to be in this. So, while some things will still go down, there's still some reprint value in this product. And of course, then you got new value. And this is one of the neatest changes, I think, is actually doing borderless commanders. I think that's a really, really good change. Hopefully, they're decent print quality, though. They won't just fall apart. Might be asking for too much. We will see. I've shared my thoughts on that in the past, that for some reason they can't seem to make the actual commanders keep from being washed out looking and curbing like crazy. So maybe they fix that with this product. I don't know. Or maybe Borderless fixes that. I don't know. Anyway, so then you get these little collector, get you hooked packs. Discover the coolest cards. Woo. Caustic Bronco. Oh, and an uncommon. Oh, man. Hindering Light. Oh, you get an uncommon. Not that big of a deal, but still. If I could get this deck open, then I could actually work and start the video. Hey, okay, there we go. I know there's a pull tab there, but I couldn't find where the pull tab was. All right, so let's just get the lands out of the way. Yep, basic lands, basic lands, basic lands, tokens, 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 tokens. Bounty cards, those are new. Let's see. Okay, so it's got the instructions on there. That's interesting. And of course, how to play. All right. We got Yuma, Proud Protector. Yeah, that actually seems pretty good. Yeah, that seems pretty good. All right. In fact, print quality seems pretty good. Seems not cheap. All right, good. We got Carry, so those are the 2 commanders. Then we get into your normal, so Scavenge Grounds, yeah, Sun Titan the Classic. So what does this do anyway? For each land card in your graveyard. Okay, so it's going to have Lord Windgracie type stuff. Oh, so you're going to want to upgrade this with all the Titanias. And you get to create Plant Warriors when a desert card specifically. Ah, fascinating deck. Okay. Not doing anything groundbreaking. Descent upon the sinful. Exile all creatures. And then create a 4/4 white flying if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. It's not a bad little board wipe. Chrome Lantern, which is a card I will be a staunch defender of, because it's important to have depth in the deck to fix your mana. Okay? If you're playing a 3 or preferably a 4 or 5 color, 4 or 5 color deck, Chromatic Lantern is fantastic. It's a fantastic card. 3 color, take it or leave it. Scoot. Because you're going to be, so this is very land folly and land deathy. Ancient Green Warden, this is going to, there's, okay, well, speaking of, Titania. Perennial Behemoth kind of fits. Yep. Zendikar. Hazes on since you're doing, hey, you made it in a deck, buddy, because we're dealing with deserts. Good. Genesis Hydra. Huh. Okay. That's one of the new ones, right? So now they're going to add these to all the decks. Nope. Little Doom Chanter. Okay. Swifties. That's a neat looking Soul Ring. There's a weird part of me that loves the fact they're doing all kinds of different artwork for the Soul Rings, depending on the deck. Perpetual Timepiece. Okay. So this is full on around that exact mechanic of destroying deserts and bringing them back. Yep. Which is, frankly, something that really hasn't been done that much. You feel out of place. I guess removal on a big creature. Okay. Not exciting deck, but could be fun. What does the second commander do? Oh, okay. Pumps up your plants and your tree folks, which is something that you have cards that do. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Let's move on to the Grand Larceny. So much waste. These are just a temporary home until I get an opportunity to organize everything. All right, next pack. So it looks like you get one extended and then one breaking news. Is that what you're doing here? Great Train Heist. I'll be happy to take that out of these random packs. And murder. So that's okay. Great Train Heist. Sweet. So this is the Gonti deck. This is the play things from exile from everybody else's deck, which is the kind of thing that in person would be awesome. If you're playing over spell table, if done in large quantities, is a little less than fun. Yeah, spells you don't cast, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've seen the Gonti. Now this one, if creature you control deals combat damage to to a player causes a... Oh. You need to be built around, sir. I already have enough Sultai. Okay, so getting things from other people, yes. Yep, Sage from Beyond, all the Foretold stuff. Okay, Dazzling Sphinx. It's a neat card. I know it's the first time in a long time that's been printed, so I really wasn't aware of it. Brainstealer Dragon. Oh yeah, this feels very playable. Yeah, Oran. Search. Go get your command tower. Yeah, Silent Blade of Oni. It's a kind of an interesting theft deck. In fact, you could almost morph this in the morph this and the Gatrod deck together and probably form a thing. Yeah, you're adding Woodland Cemetery, Hinterland Harbor, Filter Lands. See, those are the kind of like little value things right there that we don't really think of when we think about the commander decks. Because they didn't really add too many extremely spicy reprints, but they added some depth. Like 3 Visits here is still a $5 card. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's the same one as the last one. Oh, well. Yep. Okay. See, I think that first one, that Naya one, I think that's neater than Prof gave it. Yeah, it's not doing anything groundbreaking, but it's doing land death and triggers around land death. And that's... It's actually not bad. It's neat. But, you know, everything has to do with different play styles. That deck is a little bit more my play style. Triggers upon triggers upon triggers upon triggers upon triggers. So I guess there's also that reality. It just depends on what somebody enjoys doing. That's more my flavor. Come on. Oh, boy. Yay! Combo! Okay. So it seems to be always an uncommon. But hey, Great Train Heist, combo, fine. Combo may not be a value hit, but that is a card I'm going to play with because, again, we're back to triggers upon triggers upon triggers upon triggers. Oh my god. So the pull tab, as I feel around this thing, is like non-existent. Yeah, it's nowhere to be found. This is ridiculous. Why even put a pull tab on there if you literally cannot pull the pull tab? Wizards, what are you doing? You know what? I'm going to let it go since you made apparently Commanders where the card is in good stock. I'm going to let it go. I'm gonna let it go. So Stella Lee here. She is cool. God, yeah, faux quality is good too. She's cool. Who are you? I don't know who you are. Elemental Warlock, huh? Okay. Huge casting cost, but it wants you to cast some things before it comes out. Flying and prowess, alright. Okay, and allows you to make some big dragon elemental tokens. Kind of goes well with Varen. On a more, yeah, you know what? It's starting to become more of an cast spells and get creatures thing, isn't it? There was that one uncommon in Brothers War not that long ago that did that kind of thing too. This is a sneaky great card in a number of decks. So that's a good inclusion. Yeah. The Hotijin. Wing Boots, the reprint. I have to admit, I don't think I ever realized that Wing Boots started to become an expensive card. I don't know when that happened. But it did. It's a good card. Obviously, 2 to put out, 1 to equip, flying, and Ward 4. And Ward 4 is, while not impossible to get through, you have to really, really want to. Oh yeah, so all kinds of things to put out creatures. Yep. To get effects after drawing cards. It's actually a pretty cool deck, isn't it? It's a little bit more of a creature aggressive, is it? It wants to create tokens. Of course, in Varen herself, she doubles up them copyings. So, does it have any copying artifacts? Wait, those wouldn't work for this anyway. Yep. Drop the card. Who cares? It's just think twice. Bongify! Reprint value. Yeah, that's a great card. Windfall, a classic. There, yep, no, you're in here. Okay. That could be a recently the Commander Quarters did a whole video on Temple of the False God, and in my opinion, he is not wrong. Each of their own. I think there are certain decks that this belongs in, and I've seen it real time, but most decks, and honestly, looking through is kind of one of them. It doesn't need Temple of the False God. In fact, that would be a dead card for periods when you need mana. Yeah, not that it doesn't have its home. I mean, obviously the Zuladoc, right? And he kind of talked about that it's in so many Zuladoc decks, and having played Zuladoc quite a bit, yeah, you want it in there. Why? Because it's a super mana-hungry deck. And there's only so many colorless things out there. Yeah, so much cleanup after I do these decks. I wish I could just get the small packaging ones. That'd be great. So we have Olivia. Olivia. A different Olivia. Because, you know, everybody's on this plane. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're essentially, if you're not a planeswalker, it's really only Jason Oko. So if you're not one of the other planeswalkers, you're here. If you're just one of the big characters. Come on. Ah. Hey. Thank you. Alright. Well, maybe we'll get a mythic. Kellen joins up in Repulse. Alright. So last deck. And we will... Olivia, Opulent Outlaw. Okay, he is neat. Yeah. This, I will admit, this is the deck I'm kind of disinterested in. So it's just all around the outlaw mechanic, which they introduced in this product. So it makes sense to have a deck built around that mechanic since they just introduced it. But it's really just built around all the things involving with that. Wasn't Mari going up because of this deck? She's in it. You're in the set. Oh no, never mind. You're. I pulled you out of the collector box. Vanewitch Coven. That's a damn good card. Yeah, Daredevil. When did Seize the Spotlight get kind of pricey? When did that happen? I hate this card. It's too expensive. Brina. Queen Marchesa. Yeah, I'm making tokens. Might as well. I do like the addition of the filters. Command Beacon, because we need reprints of that apparently. I only say apparently because it actually has been inching up toward like $9 or $10 a copy. Pretty nice mana base though in this deck. I'll give it that. Pretty nice mana base. You know, Lorwyn had the creepiest artwork. I was not around during that time, but it had the creepiest artwork. Kithkin are creepy. Changelings, it makes sense, because then there will be any of those things. They will trigger that. Lightning Greaves, it's good. Yeah, this is just this is kind of like a new version of a Kindred deck in a way, missing some other things that you could have for good payoffs, but which means this is probably a super upgradable deck. So I'll give it that, incredibly upgradable. All right, that's a look at the commander decks. Yeah, you know, running through them, I do kind of see why I hesitated on pulling the trigger. Nothing in them excited me that much. But it doesn't mean that they're like those are still look like pretty well built decks that probably play pretty well and are upgradable. So either you can do out of the box, and it looks like the mana bases are actually not horrendous. Yeah, look, they're not going to put crowd lands in them. They have too much reprint value. They're not going to put crowd lands in them. But for things that they have kind of chosen, they kind of loaded those up pretty good. But in doing so, and with a lot of the other little cards like uncommons like Spongify and 3 Visits, they didn't really put in like a big hitter. Right? They didn't really put in Exquisite Blood or stuff like that. So they didn't really give us a big hitter in any of the decks from reprint or Black Market Connections or things like that. But they gave us a better mana base. So I'm not sure what's the best way to do it. You know, they have to be mindful of the price of these decks, and that they just can't load them with things to kill the reprint value, because people are already complaining about too many reprints. So if you put too many in the commander decks, then that'll kill the value of the cards, and then those people cry. But at the same time, you want to give people enough things that they feel like there's value in the product that they're buying. It's a delicate balance between those two things. There's not always an easy answer. I do feel like these are pretty balanced on that front, because there's just a bunch of good things without having one great thing. And that's not bad. In the end, I bought these not necessarily to play with them. I bought them for parts. Because my local LGS, it does, when you buy all 4 on a pre-release, they actually give you a really good price for them. So in the end, I only did that for parts. Because the parts, when I added the parts versus what I paid, even with some degradation of some of the prices, was still a good deal. And a bunch of parts I will in fact make use of. Thank you for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Obviously, this isn't the most exciting video because you already know what's in the deck. I just kind of wanted to take a run through. And what's funny is my second most watched video on this channel ever was my brother's War Commander decks. It's still wild to me. I was super giddy at that time because everything was on old border, so admittedly it was probably a more exciting video than normal for pre-cons. So I was super geeking out over the entire decks full of old borders. I still kind of love that. But I don't think these are a C. I think the sheer number of playable parts in them, I think put them all at a B if I were to give them a grade at least. With, of course, the Is It one being flat out looks kind of awesome. Yeah, that's looked kind of awesome right off the bat, and the Commander's kind of awesome. But there is stuff here to work with. The question is, are any of these concepts that you like, right? If it's a concept that you like, it's worth picking up. And again, it comes down to the playability or the play style that you want to play, more so than whether or not, like, these are all good decks. And frankly, Wizards pretty much been releasing good decks for God knows how long now. When was the last set that had some decks that were not so good? In fact, if you've made it to this part in the video, that's a good comment for down below. What's the last deck that Wizards came out with that was not so good? See ya.